There comes a moment when life stops feeling random, not because the world becomes kinder, but because we become clearer. When illusion begins to fall away, when emotional noise weakens, when the mind sharpens its edge, something unsettling happens. We start seeing reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. The ancients never called this a third eye. They called it reason, clarity, inner sight. And once it awakens, there is no going back. 1. Emotional noise begins to lose its power. One of the first and most unsettling experiences when deeper awareness awakens is not vision, symbolism, or mystery, but silence. Not the silence of the world, but the silence inside us. The constant emotional chatter begins to weaken. Thoughts that once screamed now whisper. Situations that once hijacked our mood no longer dominate our inner state. Anger still appears, but it no longer controls the hands. Fear still arises, but it no longer dictates decisions. Desire still exists, but it is questioned before it is obeyed. This moment feels strange because we were conditioned to believe that intense emotion is proof of being alive. Yet the ancient thinkers understood the opposite. True power begins when emotion is observed, not followed. Epictetus made this brutally clear when he said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." When inner sight sharpens, we begin to see emotions for what they are, temporary signals, not commands. We stop identifying with every thought that passes through the mind. We stop calling every emotional surge who we are. This detachment can feel uncomfortable at first. We may even feel guilty, as if we're becoming colder or less human. But this is a misunderstanding. What is actually happening is that the mind is reclaiming authority. We are no longer being ruled by reflex. When someone disrespects us, there is a pause where there used to be explosion. When life becomes uncertain, there is analysis where there used to be panic. When desire tempts us towards self-destruction, there is restraint where there used to be surrender. Marcus Aurelius warned that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That realization is not intellectual, it is experiential. And once it happens, life feels fundamentally different. We begin to notice how much of our past suffering was unnecessary. How often we suffered not because of reality, but because of our resistance to it. This awareness can be painful, but it is also liberating. Pain fades, control remains. This is why many people unconsciously resist this stage. Emotional chaos feels familiar, mastery feels unfamiliar, but clarity demands responsibility. Once we see clearly, we can no longer blame circumstances, people, or fate for our inner state, and that is the true transformation. The loss of emotional noise does not make us passive, it makes us precise. We act when action is needed. We remain still when stillness is wiser. We no longer leak energy into outrage, envy, or comparison. We begin to understand what Seneca meant when he wrote, "A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." And so we stop suffering in advance, we stop rehearsing disaster, we stop poisoning the present with imagined futures. This is not mysticism, this is mental discipline. And once this inner silence arrives, it becomes clear. The mind is no longer asleep, it is watching. 2. You become uncomfortably aware of your own illusions. The second strange experience is not pleasant, but it is necessary. As deeper awareness awakens, we begin to see ourselves without filters. The stories we told to protect our ego start collapsing. The lies we repeated to feel justified lose their power. And the most unsettling part is this. We realize how often we were the source of our own suffering. This moment feels like standing alone in a dark room with nothing but a mirror. We start noticing patterns we once ignored. How we seek validation, how we react defensively, how pride disguises itself as self-respect, and how fear hides behind excuses. Things we once blamed on bad luck or other people now reveal a deeper truth. Much of our pain was created by unexamined beliefs. The Stoics warned about this long before modern psychology. Marcus Aurelius wrote, The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When awareness sharpens, we finally see the true color of our inner world, and it is not always flattering. This is why growth feels lonely at this stage. You can no longer fully participate in self-deception, yet you are not fully free from old habits either. You stand between who you were and who you are becoming. That tension creates discomfort. We begin questioning everything. Why do I crave approval? Why do I fear being misunderstood? Why do I hold on to resentment even when it costs me peace? Epictetus described this moment perfectly when he said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Awareness exposes the ego's hunger for image, status, and control, and once seen, it cannot be unseen. This experience often feels like losing something, but in reality, we are shedding weight. Old identities begin to dissolve. We stop defending behaviors that contradict our values. We stop explaining ourselves to people who benefit from our confusion. We stop pretending that external success can heal internal disorder. At first, this clarity can feel like a curse. Ignorance was easier, denial was comfortable, but comfort was never strength. Seneca warned, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Self-awareness is a form of adversity. It forces us to confront our weaknesses without the shield of excuses. Yet something powerful happens when illusions fall away. We gain precision, we gain humility, we gain responsibility. We stop reacting blindly and start choosing deliberately. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we ask, "What is this teaching me?" That shift alone changes the direction of a life. This stage does not make us harsh, it makes us honest. And honesty is the foundation of real self-mastery. The mind begins to align with reality rather than fantasy. Desire becomes disciplined, fear becomes manageable, pride becomes quieter. And slowly, we understand a difficult truth. Growth does not begin with enlightenment, it begins with self-exposure. Once illusions fade, the path forward becomes unavoidable. There is no turning back, only refinement, and that is when true strength starts forming, not from mystical visions, but from the courage to see clearly and live accordingly. 3. You feel a strong detachment from noise, crowds, and shallow conversations. The third strange experience is subtle but deeply transformative. Without consciously trying, we begin to pull away from noise. Not just physical noise, but mental and emotional noise. Crowded places feel heavier. Endless conversations feel draining. Gossip, complaints, and empty validation suddenly feel unbearable. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. We are no longer stimulated by chaos. The mind starts craving depth, silence, and meaning. The Stoics understood this state well. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. When awareness sharpens, we instinctively withdraw from environments that weaken our inner order, not because we hate people, but because we respect our mind. We start noticing how much energy is wasted on proving ourselves, arguing opinions, explaining our choices, reacting to other people's emotions. What once felt normal now feels expensive." This detachment often feels confusing at first. We may wonder why socializing feels exhausting, why we prefer solitude, why small talk feels hollow, but this is not isolation, it is recalibration. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." As inner awareness deepens, the soul begins pulling inward, away from external stimulation and toward internal alignment. Silence becomes nourishing, solitude becomes restorative. Observation replaces reaction. We start listening more than speaking, watching more than judging, thinking before responding. The mind no longer seeks constant input, it seeks accuracy. This is also when we stop oversharing. We realize that not everyone deserves access to our thoughts, struggles, or plans. The Stoics believed wisdom speaks softly and sparingly. Epictetus said, be silent for the most part, or speak only what is necessary. With clarity, we understand that energy preserved is power retained. Detachment doesn't mean coldness, it means selectivity. We still care, but we care intentionally. We choose depth over popularity, peace over attention, alignment over approval. The desire to be seen fades, replaced by the desire to be solid. This stage often confuses others. People may say, "You've changed, you're distant, you're too serious." But what they are really sensing is this: we are no longer emotionally available to disorder. We don't need to correct everyone. We don't need to win every argument. We don't need to be understood by all. The mind becomes disciplined enough to walk away without resentment. Seneca warned, "He who indulges in empty fears earns himself real fears." When we detach from noise, fear loses fuel. The mind steadies. Emotions stop swinging wildly. Decisions become cleaner. This detachment is not withdrawal from life, it is return to essence. We become harder to manipulate, harder to distract, harder to provoke. Not because we are numb, but because we are centered. And slowly, a quiet strength forms, a strength that doesn't announce itself, a strength that doesn't argue, a strength that simply endures. This is one of the clearest signs that inner awareness is deepening. The world gets louder, but we get quieter, and in that quiet, true power begins to grow. 4. You start seeing patterns and truths others completely miss. The fourth strange thing that happens when your third eye begins to open is subtle yet revolutionary. You start noticing patterns in life that others overlook. Events, people, and outcomes that once seemed random now reveal themselves as connected, deliberate, and meaningful. It's as if reality starts whispering its secrets to you, and suddenly the world is no longer chaotic, it has a rhythm. We begin to perceive the cause and effect behind human behavior, the silent motivations that drive actions, and the invisible consequences that follow. The small lies, hidden agendas, or recurring mistakes that escape everyone else's attention now stand out clearly. This heightened awareness is not mere curiosity, it is an internal discipline manifesting as vision. Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." The awakened mind learns to see the difference. Patterns appear in the way certain people always act when tested, in the subtle shifts in energy when someone is sincere versus when they deceive, in societal cycles where history repeats itself through unnoticed human tendencies. We recognize the same lessons playing out in different forms, allowing us to anticipate outcomes with uncanny accuracy. This ability is often disorienting. Others may dismiss us as overthinking, paranoid, or detached. But this clarity is not paranoia, it is discernment. We understand that reality is rarely accidental and that intention often drives what seems random. Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Observing patterns allows us to react with precision rather than being controlled by circumstance. We also begin seeing patterns within ourselves. Recurrent thoughts, emotional triggers, and ingrained habits no longer operate unnoticed. Instead, they become maps, guides for personal growth. The mind, once scattered, now functions as a finely tuned instrument. This insight doesn't make us arrogant, it makes us vigilant. We learn to act, not react. To choose, not be chosen by circumstance. To remain calm in chaos because we understand the hidden forces at play. Life stops being a series of random events and starts becoming a puzzle whose pieces, when understood, reveal not just how the world works, but how we can navigate it wisely. This stage is dangerous for those unprepared. Many reject or fear truth, clinging to comfort over clarity. But we, guided by observation and reason, know that wisdom is not about comfort. It is about seeing reality as it is and responding with courage and integrity. The third eye opening does not grant power in the conventional sense. It grants understanding. And with understanding comes freedom. Freedom from manipulation, illusion, and the repetitive mistakes that ensnare most people. We begin to see the invisible threads of life, and in doing so, we step closer to mastery over ourselves and our destiny. Get exclusive content and deeper insights. Join our membership today. Link in the description. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the Stoic Verse for more wisdom to guide your journey.